Okay, so this week we'll work on 3.1, 3.4 homework. So week 3's homework on chapter 4. Right, you notice this week there's 2 smart book readings. Smart book reading 3.1 over chapter 4 and 3.2 smart book reading chapter 9, sections 9.1 through 9.4. So I'm going to do the homework. Nine questions. All right, so here is a data set where I want you to find the mean, median, and mode. So in the announcement, I discussed what these things are. To do them by hand, you would have to add them all up and divide by how many there are to find the mean. Median, you'd have to put them in order and figure out what the middle is. And mode is the number that repeats the most. But again, if we open up in Excel, we can use technology to help us solve these problems. So just like we did in previous videos, if I highlight the data, I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. There we go. Highlight the data that's in a column. I can hit data, and again, I can sort. Right. And now this helps me sort from smallest to largest. Again, if you want to do these things by hand. However, in Excel, if you just put an equal sign and start typing, typically you can find what you're looking. So for mean is another word for average. So I type average, and then I highlight my data. I have my average, 96.03. And then if I want to find the median, I just type in median. Again, highlight my data. And then if I want the mode, I can type in mode. Now be careful, Excel only gives one mode. So if there's more than one, you have to look for it. But it has 21 3 times, 62 twice, 70 twice, 113 twice, 23 twice, 141 twice. So it looks to be correct with 21. So then I can just type in my answers of 106.5 for the median and 21 for the mode. And again, I love to check my work. That does not seem to be working this time, so that's all right. Nope, goes just a little slow, sorry. When the median and mode are different, there is a skewness, so you'll let you read over the announcement for that. And then you can base on that which one is a measure. Again, that is listed in your reading as well as the announcement. Again, this one you can't, there is no thing, but I would still just type this in Excel. Right? It's just going to save you time. Right? So I'll go to a blank sheet, and I can just type these 3 things in. I'm going to put them in column form. So sample A, sample B, and then finally sample C. There's other videos if you want to see how to do these by hand. I'm using this video to show how to use technology. Because that's how it is done, right? So I know a lot of students like to tell me they prefer doing it by hand because it helps them learn. And my argument is I'll help you learn the steps, but it doesn't really teach you what these things are doing. So let technology do up the calculations for you, and then you take the time to do the understanding to answer all the other questions. Because you see there is calculation questions and then understanding questions. So to find standard deviation, well, again, mean, so equals the mean. Oh, remember, average in Excel. Average, and then highlight my stuff down. And now I can just drag this thing across, and now it just found the average of every of my columns. So there is my means, and I want the sample standard. It's called STDEV, and you'll understand why in a minute, because to do standard deviation in Excel, it's STDEV. We have .S for sample, and then the .P was for population, and there is a problem that wants you to calculate either one of those. So you notice, in this case, it still worked when I drug it, and we just got the same standard deviation. So 21 and 9, 21, 79, and 154. 21, 79, 1054. Again, 9, 9, 9, because they're all the same standard deviation. And again, I'll let you answer the third questions. So here is the one. This one you can actually open Excel, and so you can see this one asks for the sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. So when you open this in Excel, just do stdev.p, and that will calculate those. I think we've done that one a few times now, so we're okay. So this is a standardized z-score formula, right? So got my Excel. So z equals x, I'm going to put it all in parentheses just for convenience, x minus the mean divided by the STDEV, standard deviation. Right, so I can get Excel to calculate this for me by using that formula. So again, if I put it equals in Excel, parentheses, x is what we're looking for. So John's rent is 1360. I'm going to subtract the mean, which is 840. And I put that in parentheses because I want to do that step first. And then I divide by the standard deviation. And I got a z-score of 2.2707. It wants 3 decimal places, so 2.271. 2.271. Now bring back up Excel. So for something to be considered an outlier, you have to be more than 3 standard deviations away, right? So if I take 840 and I add 3 times 229, because that will make it 3 standard deviations away. So take my mean, right, plus 3 times the standard deviation of 229, 1527. Rent of $1,527 would be an outlier. I know I've done these out of order. I'll return my question. So I wanted to show the calculations. Now, you know that's the outlier. 1360 is less than that, so therefore it is not an outlier. I'll return to my question. Right? But another way to look at it, if your z is less than 3, positive or negative, then it is not an outlier. If it is larger than 3, then it is an outlier. So this one is a no. Right? Because outliers, think a standard deviation is how big of a step. And every time you take a step is how far away you are getting from the mean. 1 step away is okay. 2 steps away, you're getting in the outer limits, but okay. 3 steps away, anything more than 3 steps away is an outlier. So just like we did here, you're going to calculate the z-scores using the formula x minus mean divided by standard deviation. So there's your x. 41 is the mean, 13 is standard deviation, and then decide based on that how close that number is to 3 if it is an outlier or not. All right, for this problem, this is a box plot, right? And so typically we'll build what we call our 5 output summary, which I talk about in homework. However, this one's already built for us, and we just need to take the numbers right off the scale. So how you read this is we're first reading from left to right. So where the box plot starts, that is your min, right? So click my cursor there, it comes straight down. It looks like it's right at this line. So 2500, 26, 27, 2800 is my min. Where the then go reading to the right, follow the line over. I hit the far edge of the box. I come down. That looks to be 3,000, 3,300. The line inside the box is called the median, so it's where the middle is. So if this is 35, 36, 37, looks like 3,800 is where that line is. And sometimes the software can be a little picky here, so I always go back and regrade this problem if you miss it, because sometimes the software does not like the numbers we put in even though they're correct. But we'll see how it happens with me on this time. So the far right of the edge of the box is quadrant 3, the 75th percentile. So if this is 45, 44, 4,300. And then our max is all the way out here to the far right. If this is 5, 49, looks like 4,800. Again, we can use to check my work and take all my numbers. So again, left to right, min, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, max. I will go back and regrade this in case you get numbers that are close and it doesn't like them, because it does happen sometimes. It's just a software thing. And I will go back and regrade any questions you mix, as well as provide feedback. All right. The rest of the questions, again, click on the data. You can find mean, median, mode, standard deviation. We've talked about that already. Here's a problem I'll let you kind of work through. It's based on readings. Again, count is a function in Excel, so just do equals count. It's how many data points there are, or you can just see up here it says you how many data points there are, right? So it says 60, so that means this has to be 60. Right, so count is just how many. All right, so always go through, check your work, save, keeps your progress. I don't see it till you hit submit, so remember to always hit submit. And again, at the end of the week, I will provide feedback, and you can go back and view the feedback. I have videos on how to do that because it takes a minute to figure it out, but you go into McGraw-Hill and look for your submitted assignment, and that's where I provide you the feedback. And you can rework problems that you miss. All right? As always, post questions and comments in the discussions, and have a good week.